Hi, this is Bo with the Edibles List, and we're here interviewing Moriah Barnhart, whose 3-year-old daughter was diagnosed with a very rare form of brain cancer. Can you tell us what kind of cancer that Dahlia has and how rare it is?
Sure. It presented as a polymyxoid astrocytoma, but was a much higher grade, which just means that it moved and grew much faster.
What were the signs that she exhibited, or how did you find out that she was sick?
Well, she never slept more than 2 or 3 hours her entire life. So by the time she was 2, that had become quite an issue. They tried to diagnose her with ADHD. She was unstable, which they attributed to growth spurts. She had headaches, which for a 2-year-old is very odd. And basically it was just an accumulation of quite a few symptoms that didn't match up. I took her into the emergency room and said I thought she had had a seizure, knowing that would get a CAT scan done right away, and sure enough, there was a huge mass in her brain. That would have caused permanent brain damage had they not done an immediate emergency surgery to relieve the pressure.
Can you describe what it's like watching your daughter go through something like this, especially being a single mother?
Yeah, I think any parent can understand that to watch your child be sick is the worst feeling. But to watch them be sick every day, to watch them get worse, to watch them suffer, and to watch them be genuinely terrified, there's really no words for that.
What medications has she been prescribed, and were there any adverse reactions?
Morphine for pain, Neurontin for neuropathy pain, and a handful of other medications as she started chemotherapy, which in and of itself is very harmful and very harsh. So they're prescribed medications to treat the symptoms of the chemotherapy medications and drugs to treat the side effects of other drugs. So she's been prescribed just about everything you can imagine for any type of neurological, brain, or cancer condition.
What led you to cannabis? Was there any particular one light bulb moment for you?
You know, first you become fearful that your child's going to lose their life. But then you become fearful that your child's going to lose their quality of life. I've always been a big believer that plants were made to nourish and heal. And I feel that the safety and efficacy of this particular plant has been known for thousands of years. Tons of our medications in this society come from plants, and I've always truly believed, as the Bible says, that plants were made to nourish and heal.
What kind of research did you do on cannabis before turning to it?
I did hundreds, probably even thousands of hours of research. I talked to medical professionals internationally, really, and I had a lot of very trustworthy information from a lot of very educated sources before I really decided that this was something that would not only help ease her quality of life, but also had the potential to give her her life back.
What about your doctors? What was their reaction to your decision to use cannabis?
It's federally illegal. No surgeon, no hospital, and no professional with federal standing is even going to discuss the issue.
What do you believe CBD medicine can do for Dahlia?
Well, being that it was patented by the United States government as a neuroprotectant and antioxidant, I knew that it was going to be a protective agent. What I didn't know when I first started giving it to her was that it was shown to actually repair brain damage, which is something that's pretty miraculous, and it seems to have done that for her.
How have you been administering CBD oil to Dahlia?
A gram a day, split up between 2 to 3 doses.
How has CBD oil made a difference in her quality of life?
Well, the first day that she took it, about 3 hours after her first dose, she slept through the entire night for the first time in her entire life. I was pretty much sold on it at that point. I've never had her to sleep through the night, and for a 3-year-old, it's just an amazing epiphany to realize that one day she could very well be a normal toddler. She woke up the next day hungry. A few days in, I noticed that she had been extremely thirsty, and hydration and nutrition are such an important part of keeping their bodies from destructing through this harsh treatment. So altogether, with just those 3 short-term benefits, I was convinced that this was something that she needed. Furthermore, you know, as we went further along, her neurological progression just, it seemed that she transformed into a normal 3-year-old overnight. She was happy and extroverted and playing, eating, drinking, sleeping, and I just couldn't have even imagined that while she was still undergoing this treatment, she could ever be so happy and have this quality of life back.
How long do you plan on giving Dahlia CBD oil?
You know, it's a supplement that I think some people might need for the rest of their lives. So really only time will tell the kind of repair that it provides her for her nerves and her brain, what happens with this cancer. But there's no reason somebody couldn't use this as a supplement for the rest of their lives. You know, in the long run, I'm really hoping that this helps with her cancer, but in the short term, I'm so blessed to have each day with her that she's able to get up and be active and play and enjoy this moment.
Where do you hope to see cannabis in 5 years?
I definitely hope to see the federal prohibition lifted. I hope that our researchers and our medical professionals are able to utilize the extracts of this plant in a way that is not only treating symptoms, but is curative.
What advice do you have for other mothers in your situation?
Absolutely trust your gut, trust your instincts as a parent. You love your child like no one else ever will. You can read your child like no one else ever can, and just because somebody has a doctorate or a degree that you don't have does not mean that they know or don't know what your child is going through. So trust yourself and do what you feel is best for your own child.
Have you or do you use cannabis?
No, I don't. I also don't use her morphine or her chemotherapy or any other drugs that she needs.
What would your message be to any naysayers that have skepticism or criticism to a mother who's giving cannabis medicine to their 3-year-old daughter?
Well, unfortunately, I didn't really understand everything to do with this particular medication or plant prior to being forced into a corner with no other options. And I would hope that I'm bringing awareness and education to those people. So for anyone who doesn't hesitate to take or prescribe an FDA-approved medication, such as a very, very strong psychotropic psychiatric medication causing 7-year-olds to hang themselves. For anyone who doesn't blink at doctors prescribing morphine from the deadly opium plant to these children in hospitals. To anyone who hasn't seen the quality of life of these children on fentanyl, which is 100 times stronger than morphine and is prescribed every day. Honestly, please don't judge until you do your own research and educate yourself really past the stigma, past the stereotypes, past the brainwashing. Do your own research and really, really look hard into all of the other medications that the elderly, the sick, these children are being prescribed nationwide before you decide that this is or isn't something that's much safer and more effective than most any other medication being prescribed today.